From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, President Buhari says military will wipe out terrorists off the face of the earth. More than 7,000 observers to monitor Osun governorship election. Fuel queues in Abuja disappear as Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria sell litre at 185 naira. Away from Nigeria, Sri Lanka president lands in Singapore as wait for resignation continues. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Now, despite recent security lapses, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the response of the armed forces of Nigeria to the Boko Haram insurgency, banditry, militancy, kidnapping, as well as the activities of separatist and armed militias. The president spoke at the graduation ceremony of 247 students of the Senior Course 44 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State. Kehinde Amodu reports.
Terrorist attacks bearing the hallmark of national and trans-border insurgents have increased in frequency in the last few months. Despite looking overwhelmed at times, the armed forces of Nigeria has worked tirelessly to enhance its combat effectiveness, operational capability, and training necessary to eliminate threats in synergy with other institutions and nations.
It will be part of our duty to confront these terrorists and insurgents and wipe them off the face of the earth.
The president is resolved that his government will continue to provide the needed support required to wipe out terrorists and insurgents, but he stresses that combating prevalent security threats effectively demands that African countries must continue to work together at all levels.
To this end, the ongoing collaboration of the armed forces of Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger Republic, and Chad in a multinational operation to combat the Boko Haram insurgency in the Lake Chad region has been productive and particularly commendable and successful.
Commandant of the college, Air Vice Marshal Olurotimi Tuashe, explained that students from the college have been sufficiently trained and equipped to cope with most challenges in their career, with the staff and leadership skills acquired in the college.
The college has laid a solid professional foundation for you to make timely and informed decisions. We also prepared you to fulfill all types of appointments in your grade.
111 Army officers, 69 naval officers, 42 Air Force officers, 10 students from paramilitary organizations and ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as 15 international students, completed the 48-week intensive training. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Thursday distanced himself from a memo said to have been written from his office and sent to President Muhammadu Buhari, seeking permission to resign his membership of the All Progressives Congress. The memo, dated 24th of June 2022, listed among others family pressure, his continuous participation in active and partisan politics, and membership of the APC as the reasons for his decision. However, the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, Laolu Akande, when asked to confirm the authenticity of the said memo, described it as fake. According to him, the language of the author of the memo is not that of Vice President Osinbajo, saying that his boss will not write a memo so full of errors. The All Progressives Congress has postponed the official unveiling of former Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima as its vice presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections. Shettima was meant to have been presented to party members at the APC National Secretariat on Thursday, but an APC official told reporters that the event has been moved forward. He said a new date will be announced in due time and that the date will probably be sometime next week. The directive for the postponement is said to have been given by the party's Deputy National Secretary. No reason has been given for the decision, which comes amid controversy over the choice of a Muslim-Muslim ticket by the party. Borno State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice Kaka Lawan has been elected as the candidate of the All Progressives Congress for Borno Central Senatorial District to replace Senator Kashim Shettima, who has been nominated as vice presidential candidate of the party. Lawan was elected unopposed at the party secretariat on Thursday in Maiduguri by the APC delegates from the 8 local governments that make up Borno Central Senatorial District. Chairman of the APC Electoral Primary Election Committee, Maigari Amadu, declared Lawan as the APC candidate for Borno Central, having scored 459 out of the 480 accredited votes. In his remark, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum said Lawan was chosen due to his pedigree, integrity, personality, and above all, his loyalty to the party and the administration. Responding after being declared winner, Kaka Shehu Lawan thanked Governor Zulum for ensuring the unity of the party throughout the selection process and assured that if elected, he will ensure quality representation for the people of Borno State.
Borno Central Senatorial District word phrase or sentence to give thanks. Lawyer, I will assure nothing less than qualitative representation. We are going to be rooted loyal to the system, and we are going to put in our best to ensure that Borno gets its own share from the national cake. Not only that, go back to your respective wards and constituencies, mobilize people to register in the ongoing voter registration exercise, and let us compete with states like Kano and Kaduna in the 2023 election vote-wise.
Nobody has contested this election. We met extensive consultations within the hierarchy of the political party. We decided among ourselves, and we decided to reward Honorable Kaka Shehu Lawan. Not because it's better than the remaining people, but because we work assiduously in building the party. And because we have never held any political position. The capacity of Kaka Shehu Lawan, his humility, his pedigree, above all, his personality and integrity were never in doubt.
Staying with politics, presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, has picked Bishop Isaac Idahosa as his running mate for the 2023 general elections. The party announced the nomination on its official Twitter page on Thursday, barely 24 hours to the expiration date for substitution of nominations. Bishop Isaac Idahosa from Edo State is the senior pastor of God First Ministry, also known as Illumination Assembly, with its headquarters at Lekki Light Center, Aja, Lagos. Idahosa was born in Minna, Niger State, where he and his siblings grew up. He had his formal education there and enjoyed scholarship up to the university level in Niger State. Now, since the announcement of Bishop Isaac Idahosa as the running mate of the presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, many have been asking who the cleric is. In this profile, Ibrahim Yusuf takes a look at the person of Bishop Idahosa.
Bishop Isaac Idahosa is originally from Edo State, South Nigeria, but born in Minna, Niger State, where he grew up with his siblings. He also had his formal education there and enjoyed scholarship up to university level in Niger State. He gave his life to Christ in 1979 and is currently the presiding bishop and senior pastor of God First Ministry, popularly known as Illumination Assembly, Lekki Light Center, Aja, Lagos, a church he started more than 25 years ago in Minna, Niger State. Bishop Idahosa was honored as a United Nations Peace Ambassador for his immense contributions to the growth of humanity and peaceful coexistence through evangelism. He was also decorated by the Lagos State Government as one of the mayors of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency, LASMA. Bishop Idahosa is married to his wife of 22 years and has 2 children. He is a preacher, inspirational speaker, writer, philanthropist, and gospel music artist.
Now, stakeholders in Osun State governorship election billed for Saturday, July 16, say that they are all ready for the poll as the stage is now set for the exercise. Hamid Oegbadi in this report gives an overview of the electioneering activities as residents gear up to elect the 6th governor of the state. His report is presented from our studio.
With barely 48 hours to the 2022 Osun State governorship election, a total of 7,790 domestic and international election observers and 624 journalists have been accredited to cover the election billed to hold in 3,763 polling units across 332 ward collation centers in 30 local government areas of the state. On the security front, the Nigerian police deployed 21,000 officers and men for the election, led by Deputy Inspector General of Police Johnson Kokumo, while the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps deployed 11,226 officers, led by Deputy Commandant General D.D. Mugandi. The military, Department of State Services and other security agencies also deployed their men for the Saturday election. According to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, out of 1,955,657 registered voters in Osun State, 1,479,595, representing 76%, have collected their cards as at Sunday, the 10th of July, 2022. There are 15 candidates representing 15 political parties. The candidates of the All Progressives Congress are Digboyega Oyetola, who is the incumbent governor, and the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Ademola Adeleke, are the most popular. Both of them are confident of victory in the election.
I want to enjoy our people to please ensure that the election that is coming up is peaceful. We should not engage in any violence. Election is not a do or die affair. So our state is known for peace. I want the peace to be maintained. And I believe by the grace of Almighty Allah that I'll be elected come 16th of July.
PDP, we don't want no fight. We don't want no violence. We just want free and fair election. We don't want what happened in 2018 to repeat itself. So one thing we say is that we want free and fair, credible and conclusive election this coming Saturday. And I believe Senator Ademola Jackson Adeleke, will be the governor.
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said the commission is ready for the election.
Well, every step that the commission is supposed to take, we have taken to ensure not only free, fair and transparent election, but also inclusive and conclusive elections.
The head of election security, DIG Johnson Babatunde Kokuma, also said police and other security operators deployed for the election will carry out their duties diligently.
We have our election security action plan, and that includes deployment to all the polling units in Osun State. It also includes the deployment to all the wards collation center, the local government collation centers, and of course the state collation center.
With assurance from INEC that it will conduct a free and fair election on Osun, residents are upbeat about voting their candidates of choice come Saturday, the 16th of July, 2022.
Still on the Osun elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has trained journalists in the state on election coverage and reportage. Hamid Oegbadi reports that journalists drawn from various media organizations attended the training in Osogbo, the state capital. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, appealed to journalists to familiarize themselves with the electoral law and the innovations introduced by INEC. He appealed to journalists not to announce a winner until the Commission declares one, to avoid misleading the public and causing electoral violence when such announcement is different from what was reported before the official results.
And legal issues involved in the conduct of a governorship election. Not only that, we also expect the journalists to be abreast of the new technological innovations that have been put in place by the Commission that will also be at play during this particular election. For instance, the Electoral Act 2022 will be at play in this election, and this is the second election that the Electoral Act 2022 will be used. We're also going to deploy the BVAS for this particular election, and we're also going to deploy the IREV for this particular election. So the journalists must know the configuration of some of these things, know some of the timelines embedded in our laws for the conduct of every aspect of the election, and also be abreast and have an elementary knowledge of the constitutive legal instruments for this particular election, and also the new technological innovations for this particular election.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit seeking the disqualification of Osun State Governor Adeboyega Oyetola as the All Progressives Congress candidate for the July 16 governorship election scheduled to hold in the state. Delivering the judgment, Justice Inyang Eko stated that the plaintiff, Moshood Adioti, failed to support the process with relevant laws and as such showed no cause of action in the suit. Justice Eko added that the suit instituted falls outside the scope of Section 87, subsection 9 of the Electoral Act and Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Adioti was one of the aspirants in the February 19 APC governorship primary for the state candidacy, wanted the court to disqualify Oyetola on the grounds that the governor contested in the poll as a member of the party's caretaker, extraordinary and convention planning committee. Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Rauf Olaniyan, is to appeal an Oyo State High Court judgment which refused to halt impeachment proceedings against him by the State House of Assembly. Justice Ladira Akintola of an Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan ruled on Thursday that the House of Assembly had not breached any provision of the Constitution pertaining to the removal of a governor or deputy governor. But the deputy governor has resolved to appeal the verdict delivered by the lower court. Counsel to the deputy governor, Afolabi Fashanu, confirmed that he had filed applications for notice of appeal and stay of execution of the judgment. Now, ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Nigerian Police Trust Fund has organized a 3-day training for police personnel in the Northeast region. The Police Trust Fund says that the training will reposition officers to ensure a successful conduct of the general elections. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The 3-day training, which focuses on psychological development, human rights and conflict management, drew no fewer than 100 participants from Bauchi and Gombe commands. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Police Trust Fund, NPTF, Abdullahi Bala, represented by Jamilu Jafaru, said the initiative is part of the capacity building programs captured in the 2021 budget.
No, we are doing this training across the 6 geopolitical regions of the country. In this set of training, we are training about 3,400 number per personnel. Well, this is the first time we commence on this thing, and it's something that is expected to continue.
Gombe State government said it will continue to collaborate with the police to strengthen security in the region and beyond.
At the end of this training, they will have a vast knowledge of, if I can see the topic of the training is the psychological development and human rights power of the police. I think when they pay their attention to this training, they will have something to take home.
The State Police Command urged the participants to use the opportunity to improve on their overall output.
It is the perception, the attitude you portray outside that impact on the organization. And the essence of this training, it is after a careful training need analysis, we have seen the gap for Nigerian police to catch up and understand the complexity of policing a democracy that is imbued with respect for rule of law.
The training is expected to improve participants' ability to uphold human rights and also boost their psychological thinking.
Because if you are not psychologically sound, you are not okay psychologically, there is no way you make impact or you'll be able to resolve some of the conflict happening in our society.
Personnel of the Nigerian police, specifically the now disbanded SARS, are accused of brutality and torture, a factor that fueled mass protest in 2020 under the End SARS movement. Experts believe psychological screening and training will help address the problem. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail, reporting for Trust TV.
A civil society organization in Maiduguri has called on politicians to tackle the escalating poverty rate in the country once elected. At the launch of its Do One Thing campaign at the NUJ Center, the group called on leaders to redouble efforts in order to reduce by half the number of poor people by the year 2030. It also pleaded with Nigerians at home and the diaspora to lend their voices to calls for Nigerians to vote leaders that will adopt sustainable policies that will address poverty, unemployment, education, health, housing, as well as advocate economic and fundamental rights for poor Nigerians.
Below the poverty line. Now, this current situation or this current reality is very disturbing. And if we are not deliberate about this issue, the statistics will keep getting worse. And the consequences in terms of the negative socioeconomic impact and underdevelopment will keep being on the rise. It is for this reason, for the sake of our current and future generation, we cannot allow this to continue to happen. As an organization, we are indeed disturbed about this hike, hence the urgent call on all stakeholders to do something drastic and practical about the poverty pandemic in the country. And as we all know, the poverty situation or poverty in general is linked to inadequate nutrition and food insecurity.
The ongoing continuous voter registration in Igboeze North local government area of Enugu State has been suspended following an attack on officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, by government. In the aftermath of the attack, 2 voter registration machines and personal items of the staff, such as mobile phones, were lost. INEC Commissioner, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, who confirmed the attack via a statement on Thursday, said electoral officials were involved in the registration exercise before gunmen stormed the community primary school, Umopo, in Umueze, Ward 19 in the southeastern state. After the administrative secretary in Enugu State, Jude Okono, reported the incident to INEC headquarters, the commission decided to suspend the continuous voter registration exercise in the affected area. The Delta State Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Ali, says his men were not involved in the shooting that happened on Tuesday, which led to the death of 2 persons in Ebromede area of Warri in Delta State. The commissioner disclosed this while briefing newsmen at the police headquarters in Asaba. The report.
The commissioner, while reacting to reports that men of the Delta State Police Command shot and killed 2 unsuspecting road users, said the trigger-happy officer is not attached to the command. He disclosed that the officer, attached to an unidentified VIP, shot at them in a bid to make way for their convoy. He described the act as an act of cruelty and urged eyewitnesses in the area to assist the police with information that will lead to the identification of the convoy or the officers involved.
For the simple reason that the keke nape in which they were driving on did not give chance or did not give road for them to pass or have easy access, which now resulted to that police officer firing, is most unfortunate and quite sad. But we are still working out, trying to figure out who is this VIP in question. So what I want to tell you precisely is that the command does not know anything about that incident.
The police boss, who gave an insight into the alleged killing of a farmer at Obiaruku, called for synergy between Edo and Delta State police commands to fish out suspected kidnappers who have infiltrated the Orimogbe Railway, which borders the two states.
I went to Obiaruku, had meeting with traditional rulers, the youth, market women, and I tasked the Hausa community to go all out and fish out the bad eggs among them. We went to Agbo Railway, where we were made to understand these kidnappers normally pass through the railway line, crossing through Oronigbe Forest. We shared that Oronigbe Forest with Edo State. I called on the CP Edo State, and in fact, we have a common understanding. These men can come here when it comes to the issue of crime fighting.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up after the break. More adopt family planning in Kano. Details and more shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Here is a reminder of our top stories. President Buhari says military will wipe out terrorists off the face of the earth. More than 7,000 observers to monitor Osun governorship election. In other news, Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu has called for support in immediate passage of the National Water Resources Bill into law. The minister made the call in an exclusive interview with Trust TV. The minister explained that the bill is not targeted at grabbing the land and waterways of state. He said, rather, it will give direction for effective water resources development and management in the country.
All what we've been doing is to put them together into one book instead of 4 separate laws. That is one. Number 2 is to strengthen the concept of integrated water resources management so that we can manage our water resources in a sustainable manner. By this, it means making sure that there is a balance. Like I keep saying, some people have been misleading Nigerians. They've been misinforming Nigerians, and they don't want to lose face, to be seen to be the fraud that they are, and they want to continue to hammer on this water bill and also to hammer on, to continue to divide this country, and they have found a weapon to use. And this is unfortunate, this is unpatriotic, and this is unsavory, and I think they should stop it. But any patriot in Nigeria, anybody that is objective, if you have an objective mind, please go and read the Water Resources Bill and see where in any case it has favored any community or what.
It will be recalled that the bill, which triggered controversy in the National Assembly between 2017 and 2020, has now been reintroduced to the National Assembly. Now, the National Emergency Management Agency in Lagos State said that 7 people have been killed and 8 others saved after 2 days torrential rainfall that caused a flood on the 8th and 9th July 2020 in Lagos. 3 out of the 7 that died were siblings who were staying at an uncompleted building belonging to a church at Alimosho local government area of the state. The siblings, Michael, 18, Elizabeth, 17, and Timmy, 14, were reportedly said to have been swept away while trying to relocate from their room to the main church structure. Meanwhile, the Alimosho community leaders also informed NEMA that in the same community, 4 siblings of same parents were also swept away on the same day, but the community members were able to rescue them. The community then called on the agency to embark on a sensitization and awareness campaign in the area on how to avert such occurrences in the future. In another follow-up story on Orile Agege flood, 4 were rescued and 2 people lost their lives in the flood. Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed 6 persons were killed and 65 others wounded by the windstorm in Kafing Hausa local government area of the state. The executive secretary of the agency, Yusuf Sani, said the windstorm on Tuesday wreaked havoc on the affected community and destroyed many houses, adding that the agency was conducting a damage assessment to ascertain the extent of the destruction. He said that the displaced persons took refuge with their relatives in the area, pending when a temporary shelter will be provided for them by the agency. Also commenting, the information officer in charge of the area, Muhammad Umar, said that the chairman of the council, Alhaji Muhammad Saminu, had visited the victims on admission at General Hospital, Kafing Hausa. Kano State government says it is recording a 1.4% increase in the use of family planning methods annually. At a Phase 3 survey dissemination on family planning, health authorities say that from January 2022, 41% of women who are not using family planning are now adopting the methods. Idris Debrain, who was at the workshop, now reports.
Organized by the Performance Monitoring for Action, this survey dissemination workshop is to present the findings of Phase 3 panel survey, the overall key findings of which shows that among women 25 to 49 years old, 41% were now users, while 8% and 5% of women 20 to 24 and 15 to 19 years old respectively are now using family planning methods.
We discovered 36% of women using family planning in Kano have discussed and agreed with their spouses that they should use family planning. Well, we asked them, were you coerced by your spouse that you must get pregnant? Only 1% said yes, while 99%, overwhelming majority said they were not coerced.
Women who were not using a method of family planning declined from 78% in Phase 1 to 72%. However, in terms of using family planning, it's increased from 9% in Phase 1 to 18% in Phase 3.
According to Kano State Ministry of Health, although Kano State has not been doing well on areas of family planning in recent times, but the key findings of the survey shows that government is recording significant improvement.
As part of the national surveys, Kano was only 0.5% in terms of the modern contraceptive prevalence rate. However, Kano is above 5. Is around 10% at the moment, which is a significant improvement in what was previously reported.
While having a core family planning purpose, the data collection platform can be used for data collection that informs other health strategies. So it's not only about the family planning. We've done something on COVID, and the experience we gathered, has really been helping and inform other health strategies.
While there seems to be an improvement in adopting family planning methods in Kano State, but these experts believe that there are many lapses to cover. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Nigerian pilgrims will start returning home from Friday after completion of the 2022 Hajj exercise. Chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Zikrullah Hassan, said this during this year's post-Arafat meeting with stakeholders held in Mecca, Saudi Arabia on Wednesday. Hassan assured that the homeward airlifting will be first in, first out, noting that lessons have been learnt from this year's Hajj that will aid NACON's better performance in the next exercise. Meanwhile, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Senator Adamu Bulkachua, congratulated all the pilgrims that performed the 2022 Hajj, praying Allah to accept it as an act of worship and a much more successful Hajj. Also, the Chairman of the House Committee on Pilgrimage, Abubakar Nalaraba, assured that his committee will continue to work closely with the Commission for improved and successful Hajj operations. An Ikeja Special Offences Court has convicted and sentenced Nollywood actor Olariwaju Omiyinka James, alias Baba Ijesha, to 16 years imprisonment for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old minor. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo, in a 2-hour judgment on Thursday, convicted James of indecent treatment of a child and sexual assault and attempted sexual assault. Baba Ijesha was pronounced guilty of counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, while the prosecution could not prove the offences on count 1 and 6. Taiwo therefore discharged and acquitted him of count 1 and count 6, which were sexual assault by penetration and attempted sexual assault by penetration. He was, however, found guilty of indecent treatment of a child and sexual assault, which is contrary to Section 135 of Lagos State Criminal Law 2015. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. We'll take a quick break. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us.
Dear residents of our beautiful capital city of Abuja, I know we all desire to have a world-class city with working infrastructure and clean streets. That is why the Federal Capital Territory Administration is investing a lot of resources and manpower to ensure prompt evacuation of refuse from all nooks and crannies of the city. Now, this can only be sustained if all residents play their part by promptly paying their waste collection bills. Encourage everyone around you to be patriotic and pay their bills. The task of keeping Abuja clean is for all of us. Remember, soup way sweet, na money kill out. This message is from the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement. terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. Now in business news, the fuel scarcity situation in the Federal Capital Territory has gradually begun to subside, with motorists saying that they are now experiencing fewer queues at filling stations since the weekend. But the latest development comes with a pump price hike at stations owned by members of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, who have shunned the 165 naira per litre official rate. While some other stations still do not have petrol, some major stations dispensing the product have adjusted their price boards to 185 naira per litre for petrol or premium motor spirit, with diesel or automotive gas oil selling for 850 naira per litre. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports that motorists prefer the new development to the initial long queues.
Fueling stations within the city center in the Federal Capital Territory have experienced long queues due to scarcity of products and in some cases, outright closure. In some stations, there have been skeletal services for weeks and even months as no end was in sight. However, normalcy is gradually being restored as many now have the product, with little or no queues made possible by an unofficial 20 naira price increase to 1 litre, raising the price from the initial 165 naira to 185 naira. This increase has gone unchecked by the petroleum regulatory bodies.
Like my side, they are selling 220 per litre, and people are angry. Now, to get it now is not easy. To get it, if you see some of the filling stations are locked, not that they don't have the fuel, they have it, but because of they want to hide the price, they want to make it above.
Today, the fuel price keep on increasing gallopingly. You can wake up with the next price is increasing by 20 naira. The next time you wake up by whatever the marketers wants it to be. And the government seems not to have any control over this the oil price. So I feel this has brought an untold hardship upon Nigerians, upon the workers, upon everybody. You cannot use generator again.
Some motorists at the station said rather than the long queues and scarcity, they are comfortable buying at the new rate as it saves the many man-hours lost while looking for petrol.
For me, I don't, for my own, it didn't affect me more because it is what I'm praying for, that it's better for them to increase the price for me to see the fuel and buy than for me to be using my working hour to queue in the filling station. Like before I just came to buy the fuel, I just cooked something from Jabe to Zone 1. And I told the person that the increment of the fuel price I increased, that I will also increase my own price of money. So what I used to collect it before, I have to still add a little thing there for me to meet up with the fuel price.
Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria noted that the regulated 165 naira price is no longer realistic as cost of transporting petrol from the coastal area has risen by 300%. This, they say, has caused the hike in petrol price, maintaining that it would be difficult to enforce any kind of price control mechanism on marketers who had to slightly adjust their prices based on how much they buy products from the depots. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The capital market has enough debt to breach the country's infrastructure deficit and provide government the much-needed breather to focus on other issues of national development. Speaking at a meeting with the new executives of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers in Abuja, Director General, Securities and Exchange Commission, Lamido Yuguda, said that the capital market is capable of attracting finances that will assist the nation breach the current infrastructure deficiency. He called on relevant stakeholders to cooperate and collectively champion the growth of the capital market to help breach the infrastructure gap in the country. He pointed out that for the capital market to attain full potential, all stakeholders need to ensure they carry out their functions with integrity and fairness to restore investor confidence. He acknowledged the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers as a key partner in the Commission's regulation of the market and assured that the SEC will continue to provide the needed support. We'll now take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Please stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back from that break. Now, away from Nigeria, Sri Lanka President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has arrived Singapore on a flight from the Maldives, where he had fled after mass protests over his rule. Singapore's government said he had been allowed entry on a private visit. It is not clear if Rajapaksa will stay or move to another destination. He pledged to resign by Wednesday amid public anger over the island's economic crisis, but has failed to do so yet. The cost of food, fuel, and other basic supplies have soared for Sri Lankans. Russian missiles have struck the central city of Vinnytsia, killing at least 20 people, including 3 children. Ukrainian officials say 90 more were reported wounded in the attack to the southwest of the capital, Kyiv, and far from any front lines in the conflict. 3 Russian missiles hit an office block and damaged residential buildings, while Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called it an open act of terrorism. The Russian Defense Ministry, which denies targeting civilians, has yet to comment on the strike. At least 31 people, including children, are now known to have been killed in the last week during renewed fighting in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The UN says intense clashes between the Congolese army and several rebel groups have spread to the Beni territory, where 5 bodies were recovered on Wednesday. Locals say that the death toll might even be higher, as dozens of people are still missing. More than 700,000 people have fled their homes in Ituri and North Kivu provinces since the beginning of this year alone, bringing to 6 million the total number of people displaced by armed conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We'll take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Please stay with us.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
That's great. That's good to see you.
And now in sports news, London's Metropolitan Police have opened an investigation into British Olympic great Mo Farah's revelation that he was illegally trafficked into Britain as a child. The 39-year-old Somalia-born athlete who won double Olympic 5 by 10,000 meters gold for his adopted country at both the 2012 and 2016 Games revealed in a BBC documentary this week that his real name is Hussein Abdi Kashin. He added that he was forced to work in domestic servitude after entering the country aged 8 or 9. On Wednesday, Farah was assured by the British government he will not be stripped of his citizenship, with a spokesman for Prime Minister Boris Johnson describing him as a sporting hero, rather than moving to the UK as a refugee from Somalia with his mother and 2 of his brothers to join his consultant father, as previously claimed. Farah said he came from Djibouti with a woman he had never met and then made to look after another family's children. And still in sports news, Nigeria's senior women football team, the Super Falcons, has qualified for the semi-final of the ongoing Women Africa Cup of Nations taking place in Morocco. The Falcons defeated Indomitable Lionesses 1-0 courtesy of a header from Rashidat Ajibade in the 56th minute to also qualify for the 2023 FIFA Women World Cup to be hosted by Australia and New Zealand. Nigeria will face host nation in the semi-finals. Let's now take more on sports updates put together by Adeni Ajishafe.
The report of the Presidential Committee on Football Development 10-year master plan from 2022 to 2032 has been submitted to the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Honorable Sunday Dare. Chairman, Presidential Committee on Football Development 10-year master plan, Ibrahim Galadima, while submitting the report, says the master plan is key to football development in Nigeria as the committee worked hard to get the job done.
It's my pleasure on behalf of my colleagues to thank Mr. President Uyu for giving us this opportunity to serve this country in this capacity. So on behalf of my colleagues, we thank you most sincerely. At this stage, on this report that we have the report in 2 volumes.
2 volumes.
Volume 1 contains the consultations and the presentations by various stakeholders, ranging from stakeholder associations, players' union, as well as the NFF itself. Volume 2 contains recommendations. Prime Minister, sir, the 10-year master plan is stated, has been segmented into 3 stages: short, medium, and long term.
Minister of Youth and Sport Development appreciated the
And with that, we wrap up the News Hour on Trust Television. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.